Goosebumps every time. It is never not awesome to watch that. Allison Footer of MLB.com joining us on Hot Stove this morning. Good morning to you. We're about the halfway point between that moment right there and spring training. So you came up with, and I have it in my hands, the first power rankings of 2023. And when I looked at it, Allison, I'm like, how the heck did she do this? She doesn't know how the teams are fully formed yet. How did you do it? What was the most difficult part? And good morning.
Good morning, Lauren. Yeah, this was a little bit easier than the one that we run right after the World Series when we let everybody know that the National League champions are actually not in our top five. So I actually prefer to do these a little bit more. I sent an email to our voting party, a few people on the in our little group, and the answers I got were, I have no idea. It's dangerous to really base it on like who did the most, who did the splashiest, who had the splashiest signings and deals in the offseason. Because I mean, I think that if you look at the Braves, they don't really need to do a lot because they have such a loaded roster, such a young pitching staff. So I was even a little bit hesitant on the Mets, basically because we really don't know what the Carlos Correa situation is going to end up to be, and also because there are no guarantees when you just amass that kind of expensive talent. It's also, the pitching staff is going to be a little bit on the older side. There's a lot of miles on some of those arms. So sometimes things don't work out exactly the way that you think that they're going to, and it's certainly nearly impossible to tell you right after New Year's, what things are going to look like at the halfway point or even as we get into October.
You're talking about hesitation. I look at the Astros catching my eye at the top. Was this an easy decision? Because you know this team very well, and they're largely similar to last year.
Yes, and this was, to me, I mean, I don't know that everybody voted them number one, but to me, this is a no-brainer. When I look at the fact that they didn't need to sign their Cy Young Award winner, Justin Verlander, they just don't need him. They are so stacked. I looked at the bullpen during the World Series last year, and I'm like, there's three guys down there that are legitimate number 2 or 3 starting pitchers on about 60% of the teams in baseball, and there aren't even any innings for them to have. There's a kid named Hunter Brown that could easily be the ace of the staff within a year or two. So when you talk about not really even need to be seriously in the bidding for a Justin Verlander because you have Garcia and Javier, Valdez, it's just an embarrassment of riches with them. So I think that you have to go into the season saying that yes, they are the favorites to win the American League pennant again. Things can, go awry a little bit. I actually predicted a few years ago, 2023 was going to be the year that they start nosediving a little bit, and I think that I'm going to be very wrong on that.
Well, and they had multiple days off in the postseason. You pointed this out in your article, so perhaps that means the hangover stuff isn't applicable. I don't know if that's logical, but it makes sense to me. So Mets number 2, perhaps with the assumption Carlos is there, as you said. The Padres at number 4. So interesting, because I feel like, Allison, if you polled a lot of people, they wouldn't have them first in their own division. What's the explanation behind that?
Yeah, crazy, right? I don't remember the last time the Dodgers were not in a top 5 in our power rankings. It has been years. I think that they are just kind of ready to pounce. And even though they did lose the division by 22 games, so some things are going to have to really fall into place. And their starting rotation beyond their top 3 is a little questionable as well. But the Dodgers lost Trey Turner. They won't have Walker Buehler, who had Tommy John surgery. I mean, there's questions about their depth for the first time in years. And when you look at the Padres, I think they're looking at this as maybe not their last best chance, but really their best chance to really make some noise. They'll have Tatis back at some point. They signed Xander Bogaerts, Josh Hader they'll have for a full season, Juan Soto they'll have for a full season. So it's a stacked lineup. It's a really good, serviceable pitching staff, and that might be enough. When you look at the Dodgers have certainly, I don't think that you could say that they improved themselves this offseason, and they definitely have lost a lot of key pieces.
You said it might be enough. I love when players sign to big teams and memes are made out of it, right? We've all seen the Yankees rotation with Cole and Rodon and Nestor and Sevy. That meme because of the signing of Rodon. Will that be enough for the Yankees this year?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm always like Debbie Downer when I talk about the Yankees. I watched them last year all summer long. I watched them obviously through the postseason. They hit a wall. They were being carried by one player. They definitely needed to improve that rotation, and they absolutely did. But you're banking on Cortez coming back and having a similar season. Maybe he will. I mean, Severino has not had a healthy season in years. Frankie Montas had some shoulder issues, so I think that it was imperative that they absolutely had to pick up a starting pitcher. But there's still some issues in that lineup, and they're going to need some of their young middle infielders that we've been hearing about for years to really come in and win some of these jobs. And they're going to need other people besides Aaron Judge to still be around in July, August, and September to get them to where they need to be.
It is a difficult task, but you did it. The first power rankings of 2023. Whenever you make a list, Twitter goes wild. Allison Footer of MLB.com. Thanks so much for joining us this morning on Hot Stove.